Previously on Meerkat Manor, the Kalahari lost one of its great rovers when Carlos died soon after securing a territory for his family. But Houdini has quickly risen to take his place. This bold Zappa male has already made his mark by mating with Flower, right under Zapod's nose. It's late spring in the Kalahari, 4 weeks since the promise of rain passed overhead. With food becoming scarcer in these arid conditions, all of its residents are tightening their belts, waiting for the rains to breathe new life into the desert. At the Whiskers burrow, new life has arrived in the shape of Flower's second litter of the year. Born just 3 weeks ago, they've spent all of their short lives underground. And judging by the sound of Pups nearing the entrance, today is the day they'll be making their grand debut on the Kalahari's stage. There's a frenzy of activity at the Whiskers burrow, with the whole family clearing the entrances. The pups will be getting the full red carpet treatment. Enthusiastically, Mitch ushers out the first of the new arrivals, Wren. After 3 weeks in total darkness, the bright light of the outside world is dazzling. Once up the runway, he's greeted by his extended family. Whilst Wren enjoys the limelight, his twin brother Stumpy has a touch of stage fright. Having been born with a deformed leg, the gentle nursery slope of the babysitting burrow is quite a challenge for this little fellow. Once at the summit, Stumpy is rewarded for his effort, with his family waiting for his first steps above ground. Buster and Suggs, from Flower's previous litter, try to steal the show. At 4 months old, they're no longer the babies of the group and will be expected to act their age. As if that's ever going to be possible. Despite their efforts to hijack proceedings, it's been a successful debut for the twins. It's now time for the day's second big event, foraging. While the family is away, the boys will be staying behind with their big sister, Sparkle. Just being above ground has been enough excitement for one day. When the Whiskers moved to this area, it seemed they'd struck gold in finding this rich foraging ground. But like the weather, its appeal is beginning to run dry. After 4 weeks of intensively harvesting its scorpions, millipedes and other meerkat delicacies, this land of plenty is rapidly becoming the land of nothing at all. To make these limited resources go further, the Whiskers have been forced to forage over wider areas, spreading themselves thinly so the land has a chance to replenish itself. But with the Whiskers numbering almost 40, this strategy can't last forever. Having prospered by the strength of their numbers, it's their very size that is becoming their biggest problem. Back at the burrow, looking after the pups on their first day out is a big responsibility for inexperienced babysitter Sparkle, but she's risen to the challenge and is taking it very seriously. Late spring would normally be the best time of year for pups to be born, but the relentless dry spell, coupled with a lack of food, has changed that. In the past, Flower has regularly given birth to up to 5 pups in a litter, but this time she's had only 2, making Wren and Stumpy more valuable to the group. In these their early days, they can look forward to being fed, bathed and cared for by their extended family. This social behaviour gives Stumpy his best chance of survival. With his deformed leg, he's going to need all the help he can get if he's going to make it to adulthood. Later that evening, the Whiskers return to their burrow after an unsuccessful day's forage. As they settle down for the night, it becomes clear that not all of the family are present. Flower, Zapod and some of the other members of the gang have simply disappeared. With no sign of Flower, her eldest daughter Daisy steps in to feed the frightened pups. As darkness creeps over the desert, it's going to be an anxious night without Flower. It's now a week since Flower and some of the other members of the family disappeared. It's a complete mystery as to their whereabouts. But in their absence, the rest of the gang have had to try and continue with life as normal. Today, the pups are going foraging with the adults for the first time. But just getting them to their alfresco dining experience is taking a little longer than it should. Not built for speed, Stumpy can't keep up with the group. Luckily, his brother Wren won't leave his side. Mitch is keeping an eye on them, and he takes matters into his own hands. Once the pup packages have been delivered to their final destination, the serious business of foraging can get underway. With Flower gone, the role of dominant female has been taken up by her daughter, Rocket Dog. Young and inexperienced, she has been helped by the fact that there are now only 20 in the group. With fewer mouths to feed, their supplies are going further. But they can't last forever. The rains must come soon. For now, the adults are able to find enough for themselves and the pups. Surprisingly, Wren seems to get more feeds than his brother. This doesn't bode well for Stumpy. Rocket Dog should be keeping an eye on this worrying behavior. But she's more interested in a different aspect of her job as dominant female. The right to mate. Cue Houdini. This daring roving male has been hanging around, checking her out. He's already had a little adventure with Flower, and it looks like his preference for Whiskers' dominant females wasn't a passing fancy. With the Houdini stare working its magic, Rocket Dog can't resist. Houdini is in line for his second helping of Whiskers' dominant female. Later that evening, as the Whiskers settle down for the night, shadowy figures surround their burrow. It's Houdini, and this time, he has company. It seems word has got out that Whiskers' females are easy. But there is a more pressing problem for the group. With Zapod missing, one of these shadowy figures could become dominant male of the Whiskers. After last night's experience with the Zappa roving males, Rocket Dog is anxious to get the gang underway. If they can get an early start, they might be able to give them the slip. With no sign of predators, it's time for the pups to appear. Once again, Wren is first out. But Stumpy is nowhere to be found. Impatiently, the group waits for his arrival. But they could be waiting for some time. His emergence has been foiled by the slope that leads out of the burrow. Eventually, Daisy and Mitch try to entice him out of his subterranean predicament. Once out, Daisy comforts him after his embarrassing ordeal. But Stumpy's delay could prove costly for the group. Rocket Dog is leading the group in a new direction. After this morning's delay, she's moving the family at double time. No one makes an effort to carry the pups. At 4 weeks old, they should be able to keep pace with the group. Wren isn't doing too badly, but Stumpy is becoming a distant back marker. Once again, it's Mitch who goes back to encourage him. With the gap opening up between the pups and the rest of the family, they must try and keep up. Suddenly, trouble glides by. Panic-stricken, the whole family flees for the nearest bolt hole. All, that is, except the pups. Too far behind to see where the family went, they're stuck out in the open. And they've been spotted. The rest of the Whiskers have no idea as to the fate of the pups. The loss of any member is a huge blow. To lose a pup, even more so. And it was on Rocket Dog's watch that the group lost one of Flowers. No blame can be apportioned. Caring for pups is a group responsibility. Mitch stands alone. He was the only one to try and stay with the pups. Today, the social care that the family provides broke down. And it was Wren who paid the price, leaving Stumpy, the weaker of the two, to survive. Three kilometers away, unaware of the tragedy that has befallen Wren, someone else is watching the night draw in. It's Flower and her small gang. She's been leading her half of the Whiskers in a nomadic existence, foraging and sleeping where they can. With the Whiskers split in two like this, her family back at the burrow has been able to sustain a meager existence on the limited food supplies. Tragically, this situation has already cost Wren his life. But living apart may be the only way for the whole of the Whiskers family to survive. It's a week later, and the promise of rain continues to pass silently over the desert. With no let-up on the horizon, Rocket Dog's group has been forced onto emergency rations. Ants make an easy meal for a group trying to make ends meet. They're close to the surface and don't take much energy to dig up. As they dance for their dinner, all Stumpy can do is watch. Too weak to take part in this most basic of meals, he waits for a handout that never comes. Things have got so bad in the week since Wren died that even Mitch, who took more time than most to care for him, must now focus on finding food for himself. After an agonizing dining experience, Rocket Dog moves the group on. Leaving Stumpy to the desert was inevitable, given how hard things have become for the Whiskers. Rocket Dog inherited a difficult situation when Flower left. On the brink of starvation and with 2 young pups, it's not surprising things have ended as they have. For this young and inexperienced leader, the last 2 weeks have been a baptism of fire. But it could be about to get even tougher. As well as being pregnant herself, her sisters Maybelline and Daisy have also been seduced by Zapod roving males. With the possibility of an explosion of Zappa pups at the Whiskers burrow, Rocket Dog's reign hasn't got off to an auspicious start. Next time on Meerkat Manor, there's a revolution at the Zappa, and Houdini rises to his destiny.